Welcome to Conservative Roundtable. My name is John Estrada, and I have Constanza with Everything Entertainment.
That's it. Everything Entertainment Incorporated.
Welcome to our program, and I really do appreciate your time and effort. You've done a lot of great things for Las Vegas and
thank you.
And America, and you're out there fighting the good fight. We thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me here, and I really appreciate it, John. It's an honor and a great, it's a true honor to be here, and I'm here for Trump. That's the bottom line. You know, I have a business and all, but I'm here. I just want Mr. Trump, our future president of the United States, to know that, it's probably a small contribution, but I care so much and I feel so passionate about everything going on right now. And here I am. I'm here to just give my, time. That's the most valuable thing, when you own a business, is to have any free time at all. As everybody knows that owns a business, you don't really get any, luxury in your time. So I'm here for you, Mr. Trump. That's my main objection here.
Well, you've
objective.
Well, you've developed and authored a really nice poster that I'm sure you would like to show Donald Trump and get that message to him. Will you show
Absolutely.
Donald Trump your deal?
Mr. Trump, future president of the United States. I developed this, and I hope that I have your full support with this. I think that you'll be very proud of what I've come up with. I've been thinking about this for a long time. A lot of Christian bumper stickers across the United States and sayings a lot of times on T-shirts say, what would Jesus do? And I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I thought, what would Trump do? So it says, what would Trump do? And I have all of your initials here and proudly say, Trump would turn the country around. Trump will revamp and clean house. Undo corrupt government. Maximize our positive potential as a country. Put us on the map again as a respected nation once again. And this is by Constanza Mancilla de Areizaga. This is my contribution to, I guess I've basically appointed myself as a surrogate, and I'm here as a spokeswoman, proud American Hispanic Christian spokeswoman that completely is 100% Trump. And my husband Guillermo also, who is not here right now because he's back at the office. But this is basically what I know that America needs to start having in their mindset. Turn the country around, revamp and clean house, undo corrupt government, maximize our potential as a country, put us on the map again as a respected nation. Okay, so that's where my heart is in this 100% for Trump.
Constanza, one thing that the great myth out there is that Latinos do not support Trump. You're a testament to say that is a big falsehood.
Absolutely.
And you are out there, and there's a lot of Latinas in America that are supporting Donald Trump for president.
100%.
So let's get that out. That there's a lot of misinformation by the media, and we're here to put the truth on the facts. And we really do thank you for your message to Donald Trump. I'm sure that he would appreciate that, and we will push it and advocate on your behalf that he gets this message.
We love him. I mean, man has just been doing such a service, for people like myself who own a business with my husband. We work, sometimes we work 14-hour days, 7 days a week. That's the way it is. And I know Trump has been doing the same thing, for the past, what has Hillary done in the past 30 years? But Trump for the past 30 years has been relentless and tirelessly working. When you own your own business, of course, I can't compare our business to Mr. Trump's empire, but I know just to run our business, our 3 offices that we have, it's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice, and I really appreciate that about him.
Yours is an international business, and that's got a great opportunity from different locations. But before we get to your business, let's talk a little bit about you. I'd like to know you're from Las Vegas, but let's go through and let
Thank
people
you.
and let them know who you are, because I think it's very important that
Well, I appreciate
we
that.
know we know the stars in America.
Thank you. I appreciate that honor. Well, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. My mother has been here in Las Vegas since 1946, I believe. I might be a little off a few years, but she basically came here from New York. She was born and raised in Manhattan also, and she came from New York and Manhattan. I say also because of Donald Trump. He's a Manhattanite. But my mother came out here back when it was just pretty much, in the Bugsy Siegel days with dirt roads and all. She came out here with her dream to dance and be in show business, and so she basically danced and performed in most of the, the old hotels that are unfortunately, sadly, no longer here. The New Frontier Hotel. She danced in the old, she was a Folly showgirl. Unfortunately, that's no longer here. There was the Desert Inn. She knew and worked with most of the big show people back then. I remember as a little girl, people like, Shecky Green and there was Jerry Lewis would, come over for barbecues at our house as a little girl.
Yeah,
I remember crazy things like that.
The community was very close in those days.
Absolutely. So my mom met my father in Mexico City, and he was a matador. He was, studying under Luis Porcuna, who was, also in the movies and heavy with the bullfighting world. And my mother flew down to Mexico City with the girlfriend at the time of Chuck Connors and met at the Cinemas Churubusco of Mexico City, and that's how my parents met.
Wow,
and it was all history from there.
So exciting.
It's really neat. It's very exciting.
Is that where you sort of got your idea of your business from your parents? Did you sort of did that sort of get in your system and you started developing from there?
My background is flamenco.
Oh, okay, so you're a dancer.
So it kind of comes with, it's funny because my whole background, my passion was always flamenco. I was a flamenco dancer. I also danced with the Gypsy Kings. I had that honor, and I've been on stage, with like thousands of people and all. But when you are so passionate about something, you don't even, you're doing it for the love and the passion. I'm not one I didn't do it because I thought, I'm, going to be famous or anything. I just, did it because I loved it, and I was so passionate about, my flamenco. Basically it's an expression of feeling. It's almost like the blues. A blues musician sings. It doesn't do it for the money. A lot of times they do it because of the passion. But fortunately, I was able to make a living, doing that for a time. I also, I modeled, I did acting as well. And so, I've also been I was in the Miss Nevada pageant at one time, so
wow.
The whole thing with Trump, with the, pageants and all, I get it, going into that really quick, I just want to mention, when you are in a pageant and when you are in show business, there's a certain standard. I'm not in show business, as the front person now. I own a company that, we are show business and production,
so that is Everything Entertainment.
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
Tell us about Everything Entertainment.
Everything Entertainment. We have, we're a full service production company. We basically supply mainly to corporate clients such as AT&T, IBM, and we work with our partner companies as well, locally and nationally, to provide everything that they need, to make your event spectacular. We do things that are out of the box. We create and produce our own entertainment, which I'm really proud of. We, have a very high standard and a meticulous reputation in our field, so we are respected. And again, that's why I love Trump, because, I understand when you have to have perfection in your business and people expect the best, you have to be particular about the type of people that you hire. You have to be, we can't have somebody send in a photo from 20 years ago and then when they come to audition for us, if they've gained 40 pounds, it doesn't mean that we don't love you, but it just means that, we're professional and we have our clients have a certain set of, expectations. And that's why I completely understand, and I get when Mr. Trump said, that Elisa Machado was in his, when he was involved with that situation, she knew better. She knows, you sign a contract, and that's what we do with our clients as well, our clients, our talents. If somebody misrepresents himself and comes on board and all of a sudden we call you for an event and you come and you're 40 pounds overweight, we're doing a disservice to our clients. So I get that, because I've been on that side where we're the bad guys because we have to be upfront with people and be very honest with them and say, look, we'll try to find another area for you, but right now our clients are expecting a certain standard, and so I get that as a business person. I don't take offense that the man hates women or anything like that, because right now I wouldn't be on stage dancing flamenco as a professional. I wouldn't do that when I'm on a different platform now as a business owner. I've gained some weight. I'm a little older now, and I have other people that would better represent flamenco dancing for a corporate event. It's
that's so cool.
You have to put your ego aside.
Well, you have a really exciting business where you basically help Las Vegas be what it is.
Thank you.
That is so cool. And so basically, if a corporation wanted to get in contact you, who would they call?
Okay, don't call Ghostbusters on this one, but you can call 702-251-4237, and our direct backline, if you want to speak with me directly, that's 702-251-4238. You can bypass the secretary that way. Our website is www.everythingentertainment.cc. It's not .com, it's .cc. And we have an office here. Our main office is here in Las Vegas. We also have an office in Orange County now and in Mexico City as well. And we basically are here to make your event perfect. We have everything from full service entertainment, out of the box, things that you could never imagine that, you see in movies. We can make that happen for you. We create it. We also have a floral department and a photography and video department. It's all in-house, so we're not subcontracting, so it saves you money and you're getting direct quality from us. We care a lot about protecting our businesses, just making sure that our reputation is always, far above what anybody would ever expect. We love what we do, and we work very hard, to make everything just perfect for you. So feel free to call us, and don't feel intimidated that you can't afford us, because we always try to, work with everybody, and everybody deserves their dream to come true.
So there you go. If you're a corporate in corporate America and you want to get a great production event going on, you want to get in touch with everythingentertainment.cc and go from there, because I'm sure you'll get the perfection you deserve.
Absolutely. Let's make the impossible happen. That's, we love challenges. We get a lot of crazy calls sometimes. People say, oh, can you what's the craziest way that we can have, or the most impact we can have our CEO, come out and make an impact on stage? And hey, how about having him out on an elephant? People say, oh my God, you're kidding. I'm like, no, let's make the elephant, with the CEO come out on stage. Well, and if you want monkeys on top of his shoulders, we'll make that happen. It's not impossible.
Well, I really like the idea with the elephants. And one day I'm going to get on an elephant and I'm going to ride into some event with you.
Absolutely. And hey, let's do it.
That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, you're a Hispanic woman that also is involved in politics. You have a lot to say, and we appreciate what you have to say, and that's why you've been invited not only to promote your business, but also to promote you and also your ideas. We've got some very important issues of the day. One of them is immigration. What's your take on immigration? What do you think America needs?
I'll tell you, I've traveled. I've had the privilege to, through my hard work, nobody giving it to me, I have traveled extensively. I also had an opportunity to live in Spain back in my flamenco passion days, where I studied in Spain and performed in Spain as well. And it was very interesting, because people in Spain, Europe, were very concerned about, the situation back then. I'm talking about, over 20 years ago. People were really, really voicing, a lot of friends of mine, people who own businesses, were voicing their opinion back then, before I was even thinking about anything political, about how the immigration was affecting them on a negative level. People that were undocumented coming over from Morocco or South Africa, different areas. Some of those people have owned, opened businesses and brought money with them, and in this, I'm talking about Madrid, in my experience, and in Andalusia, Sevilla area. A lot of people were respected who opened businesses and brought, a product to incorporate into the society, but also brought money, to expand business and capitalism. But then there's the other situation, as we have here, a large percentage of people who are not friendly to the society, who were taking advantage. And there was I remember living in Madrid, that there was a big, problem with crime, and a lot of times it was committed by people who were undocumented. And the Madrileños, or when I lived in Madrid, especially because I spent more time there, people were really complaining and really upset about, that situation back then, over 20 years ago. Then we're talking, about even Mexico. I have all of my father's side of the family still lives in Mexico City and in Mexico. And they, for years, have been complaining about the large problem that they have with people coming over that are from Central and South America, that are undocumented and who are coming over illegally, and they're the drug cartel, and there are people that are up to no good. There's maybe a 5% that are sincerely, just trying to make a better life, even in Mexico, because they're so suppressed in Central and South America, But the salvatruchas, for example, they're a very, very, very serious situation in Mexico. And they are very heavily involved with the drug cartel and other situations. There's a lot of human trafficking going on that nobody seems to talk about or remember. That huge human trafficking situation in Mexico, and they're tricking a lot of even the Russians. I'm shocked that there's so much that is going on that people don't know, and they're not making it aware here. My husband and I were at Walmart. We have a home in Mexico City, and we also have a business there, so we're there often. And in Walmart, we have seen several times, because it's near the area where there's a lot of nightclubs and all, and it's amazing to see how many women from South America and the Ukraine and Russia are being humanly trafficked and tricked in Mexico City. Yeah. And the salvatruchas are involved in this, and the big mafia drug cartels are involved in this. And from there, they're coming over to the United States. It's a huge, big problem.
So I take you're not in favor of open borders.
Absolutely not. Neither is Mexico. When you talk to more people than what they're, exposing on the media right now, of course, it's all, they only focus on, the immigrants that are here, and the poor, Obama is in favor. It's just, I need to retract a little bit here, very briefly, that the problem that Mexico has, is that they're not remembering that they have a huge problem, and they need to convey that to our United States situations.
Well, actually, the policy of America has changed, because if you go way back when you had Ellis Island, and everybody came in through different points of entries, and those points of entries were there for a reason.
Documentation.
And not only documentation, but also check for health issues. You didn't want to let in a bunch of people that had major problems, health issues that could cause major catastrophes in the health.
Tuberculosis was a huge problem
exactly.
back then.
So there really is a good reason for not having open borders. But for whatever reason, Hillary Clinton and the Democrats have forgot all that. That they're actually putting America at great harm by allowing an open border.
Look what's happened with Zika.
Exactly.
Zika virus,
Yeah,
the
Zika virus.
The Zika virus. There's just one thing after another. There's a big problem in Mexico with the impoverished, indigenous population of tuberculosis. That's a huge problem, and that's something that they're not talking about. It's a proven fact that when they're being detained at the border, there's so many people that come over and they're coughing, and there's if you notice like any real-time videos and go on Google, there's a lot of people coughing, a lot of children coughing, and it's not in the winter time, it's also in the middle of the summer.
So Donald Trump really wants to protect America and keep it safe, because by allowing in these health issues could cause major problems.
It is a major problem. It's already here.
Yes.
And just like Donald says, or I don't even want to say Donald, Mr. Trump, because he deserves my utmost respect. Mr. Trump is completely right on target. We're in big trouble.
So the wall. What do you think? You think we need to build a wall?
I know we need to build a wall. Not only do I think, I know he's right. We have to build a better wall. It's a joke. I go back and forth to Tijuana, with my husband. We go down there, we're in San Diego. We have our Orange County office. So, yeah, it's convenient. We go over, to San Diego, and then we wind up in Tijuana. And to be quite honest, because right now we have to go to Tijuana to see our dentist and my OBGYN, because I don't have insurance anymore. I didn't have that problem before, and now my husband and I cannot stand the situation with the insurance, Obama situation. I can get into that later. It gets into more than not only is it not affordable, but it's also just been a complete disaster. They were taking money out of our account, and then when we needed it, we went to find out that it wasn't in force. And yet our bank account shows that we've been paying.
Well, Obamacare has been deemed very disastrous for a lot of Americans across the board, and now the costs are even escalating even to a very critical point. So now major insurance companies are dropping out of it, so it's leaving whoever's left holding the bag, and so now. Really, the mission is by the Democrats is they want to have a single payer healthcare system, and so now they're going to say, well, that didn't work, so we're going to go and transition into this other. So that's their plan. They knew Obamacare was going to fail, but they lied to the American public. Just
like everything else. I mean, it's just been completely unaffordable, completely, it's, I hate to say this, can I say something?
You can say
it's a bastardized program. It doesn't have any kind of grounding. It's not a solid rock. It's a joke.
Well, I'm a U.S. military veteran, and I learned a long time ago, if they can't get the Department of Veterans Affairs right, how in the heck are they going to add on this huge mass of health care for everybody? It don't make sense. No. Let the private industry take care of business. They've been doing a good job. If somebody has a problem with an emergency, they can go and have that solved. We've never had a problem. It's getting now totally out of control where people like you, people all over America are suffering big time. Now, I'm fortunate because the VA does take care of me, but I gotta cross my fingers.
Even that's
I gotta cross my fingers every time I go over there because you never know.
Right. No, I mean, like I said, my husband and I, we've been for the past year going to Mexico to our doctor there because, it is affordable there, and I hate to, say, oh, we're taking our business to Mexico, but it's that way right now, and it's very frustrating because we live in the, our full time is in America, and we shouldn't have to feel like oh wow, we have to go across the border to see our doctor, and have good, we do get quality care there. But mind you, we're going to a private hospital, or private, represented doctors.
In fact, there's a lot of Americans go into Mexico to get their health care.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But
pills and prescriptions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you, what's interesting. One of the things I wanted when you asked about immigration is that, when we come back across the border, okay, they are so overladen, when we drive, and so we don't walk across, but when we come back, first of all, usually it takes like 5 or 6 hours sometimes, or if you're lucky, maybe 2.5 hours to come back across. But it's impossible to do, they're not allowed to do their job, and you can tell they're not really allowed to do the job that they should be allowed to do. They need more help. They need more, it's like a real uphill battle right now. But however, sorry to go on over you right now, John, but something that I need to get out.
Go ahead, get it out.
Is in Mexico, I mean, when you go to Mexico, getting back to the whole salvatruchas and everything, when I talk to family members, and even because they're getting so, these are people that are educated. These are people that I have a lot of family. They're business owners. Pretty much everybody's a business owner in Mexico City on my family's side and my husband's side. They're business owners. Their thinking is actually very conservative Republican. But they've been so indoctrinated with all of this garbage that's been coming across by Jorge Ramos, people like that, who are just bombarding, and it's almost like communist TV, that what's the difference of Mexican TV right now to me and what's going on in North Korea? You've got one side, they're basically bombarding everybody with this one type of thinking. It's all pro-Hillary, it's all negative, it's always been pro-Clinton. Even back when Clinton was in, it's always been, Bill, the Clintons are fabulous and Bush is horrible. Everything Republican has been. But yet you do have this large sector of people in Mexico that are conservative, thinking people. I don't want to say necessarily.
It would be great to have a better relationship with Mexico. Right now we don't have a very good relationship, and it's unfortunate.
The media.
Like me, to be honest with you, I've not been back to Mexico in about 15 years, and the reason I did that is a really personal story. Is I had a really close friend of mine. He's a United States military veteran. He was killed in Mexico, and they said that he fell on rocks. Well, this guy was so conservative. And, a nice man, family, his wife, kids, everything. And so what happened, he died there, okay? And he went before he actually died, he went into the hospital there because he was hurting. Well, he stayed there for about a week or 2 weeks. He died. And then his wife went down to claim the body, and they would refuse to release the body until all the medical bills were paid. And
Corruption, huh?
And so it was really a sad day. I can't put my family through that. I'm afraid that if I go down to Mexico and that little accident like that will happen, and guess what will happen? My family would be hostage. And so it would really be great if because my family does come from Guanajuato. Wow. And so, it'd be cool to be able to go back and visit and stuff like that. But unfortunately, so much crime going on.
It's a deterrent, of course.
So much crime going on.
Sure.
And so law and order. Donald Trump is
Love
talking
it,
about law and
order. Love you, Donald, for Mr. Trump, future president of America. Law and order, because that's exactly what Mexico complains. The majority of the citizens, especially the people with businesses and the people who are being overtaxed and all, that they're all on board with law and order, but yet they're being brainwashed. Unfortunately, even the most educated people, and conservative people that also create businesses and jobs and capitalism for a lot of the Mexicans, that are working employees there. But they're being brainwashed, and they're being told, the whole NAFTA thing is going to affect your business and all. But, people in Mexico, my own family included, they have to realize that they're being fed a horrible lie from the media. People like Jorge Ramos, who's just a puppet for Hillary. We all know it. People like that. I'm so glad Trump kicked him out, by the way.
Well, that brainwashing of the Democratic Party and the members of the Democratic Party has been going on for such a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I was fortunate to have Dinesh D'Souza from Hillary's America, the producer, came on yesterday, and he has this great movie. Anybody go out there, go buy it, because it's a great, great movie. Get it to the undecideds that are voting. They'll find out that the Democratic Party is a party of slavery.
Absolutely. And did you notice, I hope that your audience realizes too, and we can spread the word to the Hispanics, to the African Americans. Did you notice how quick and like it was in and out really fast, and it was only shown in 2 movie theaters here in town?
Yeah.
It took a lot for my husband and I to find it. In fact, I wrote to, Mr. Trump a letter of recommendation to his team that they should have, invited, had a dinner and movie night where, bus everybody up to Thomas and Mack or a large venue and, give everybody an incentive, to have to obligate to watch the movie, and then at the end, dinner for everyone, or, hot dogs and hamburgers or something.
I like your thinking. That's what you like out of the box stuff. Which
oh,
is
totally.
cool.
I love Trump. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why I love him, because he's out of the box, and I've been thinking, like, he's been amused to me since 1982. First time I had back in I graduated high school in 81, and most of my peers were talking about, other things, besides politics or business, and basically my mindset has always been very business minded. I have that whole background with the arts and theater, but my heart has always been in business. My grandfather in Mexico, God rest his soul, he was a very respected businessman in Mexico City, and since God, I can never remember, 12 years old, I'm like, I want to be like him. My grandfather reminded,
so cool.
and my grandfather
you're an entrepreneur, and you're a businesswoman, and you're out doing stuff that needs to be done, and that's really cool stuff. Now, there, like in the Latino political process here, there's another very big issue, and that is abortion. I think there's a lot of misinformation going out there by the Democrats. So tell me a little bit about the abortion issue.
Okay, I personally, have had that experience, and I'm not going to sit here and be a phony. That's why I like Trump, because he talks about, things how they are. I personally, at a younger age, had I made that decision. I was careless in a situation, and as several young girls are at times, and I'm not proud of it, but I'll be upfront and own up to it. That I made that decision to eliminate a pregnancy. I won't say at what age, but I regret it. I feel that, it's so emotional. I feel that it impacted my life in a more negative than a positive.
And you're still feeling the pain?
Of course.
See, a lot of young girls.
Because I'm a Christian.
A lot of young girls don't understand that. that it's when you make that decision, it's a lifelong decision.
It's a lifetime
it don't
decision.
Just end right there on the spot.
It's with your heart, and if you have any kind of if you have a conscience, and I'm a Christian, and I made a mistake, and just like people say, oh, Trump with the women and all of it, as Christians, we're not perfect people, it's not what I did in the past.
You actually
absolutely, but I regret it, and I'm completely, I own it, I don't want to see other people do that.
And you've got courage to admit it was a mistake. And
it's embarrassing. I'm ashamed.
So it's really good that you're advising young girls that are thinking about making that decision. Remember, it stays with you.
First of all, get right. Try to think for yourselves at a young age. Everybody. I mean, I came from. My parents were divorced. I was 14 years old. My parents were divorced, and it affects you no matter what. You've got your parents love you. They try to do the best they can, but we're in a day and age now. We have to be responsible for ourselves. We have to really, mom can't be there 100%. Dad can't be there 100% because they're working. They're trying to, do the best for us. If you're in a situation where your parents are working or they're divorced, you have to have the brain set and the mindset and the moral code for yourself, not to just, don't listen to the music that's going to encourage, like a lot of the hip hop music, if it's not Christian hip hop, most of this hip hop, music or the Hispanic hip hop, which is, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, there's a lot of hip hop and music that is not positive. It's not encouraging. You need to try to get right with yourself and God. I do encourage. I don't want to sound like a fanatic, but I do believe that God has a lot to do with it, and we have to start from there to avoid being in the wrong situation.
Let me say this: I've said this before, and this is a really important concept. They try to tell you that you shouldn't talk about politics and you should not talk about religion. Those are the two of the greatest myths there are in the world.
Yeah.
They don't want you to talk about it so they could talk about it and control your ideas. So here you go, guys. You could talk about, it's called freedom of speech, the Bill of Rights. Talk about religion. Talk about politics, because you know what? If you're not talking about it, somebody else is talking about it, and they're gonna have those ideas, and they're gonna propaganda.
They try to think for you.
Exactly. So I'm glad that you're actually thinking this stuff out and you're putting this message out there. And Hillary Clinton comes out with this idea that the unborn don't have any constitutional rights.
Right.
She's willing to abort a baby up to
9 months,
almost full pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
And then with the idea of getting those babies and selling those babies to Planned Parenthood so they could make money off that. That's pretty evil stuff. I said that a vote for Hillary Clinton is a vote for Satan.
Oh, I'm right with you. Amen, brother, on that. And especially, I know that this program isn't just, basically it's an open audience here, but as a Hispanic Christian woman, I think it's important to convey that the people that are, a lot of, especially the African Americans and the Hispanic people that think that, Hillary's all, yo soy por ti. That's a big lie. She's not with you. She's all for herself. Remember, number one, talking about open borders and all, but, drive by Hillary's house and see if you can just walk up to the front door and invite yourself in for dinner and eat her food and sleep in her bed, at any time of the day. Basically, that's what that represents. She's a big phony. The borders represent something. It's just like at your home. You need to remember that, you invite people in that you want to invite in. You don't discriminate.
You can actually lock your door? That's a good idea.
But I'd like to to see Hillary Clinton right now. I'd like to know if everybody can just, come on over and help ourselves to her food in a refrigerator or sleep in her bed and uninvited. Same thing with the immigration.
If you sleep in her bed, I bet you it cost you.
No, you know what? I'll tell you something. I wouldn't even touch that with a 10-foot pole because I don't want to get. I think we're going to get pulgas. Okay,
yeah,
we're going to
exactly.
get guilty by association. There, we're going to pick up something in that bed. But the other thing too, with the people thinking Hillary and Obama are all for your rights and all. It is a vote for Satan, and it's the whole posse. It's like the whole, the demons and very satanic. As Hispanic people, we have to remember that we have roots. We were always very traditional. Most of us were God-fearing people, Catholics,
So these are some of your major concerns why Hispanics need to vote for Donald Trump.
100%.
So what are some of the other ones that you can think of? Let's go through, because I know we're going pretty quick here with the time, but go by as many of the major concerns.
I was worried that we were, I didn't realize we could go into a few hours here.
Trust me, we could keep talking, and we'll invite you to come back another time.
I have lots to say.
And that would be good. So go ahead, major concerns. Well, most importantly, we're talking to Latinos or veterans or whoever we get this broadcast to. Give us a reason why you're voting for Donald Trump and what you would promote and give to people to go out there and vote for Donald Trump right now.
First, there's so much. Number one, as a Hispanic woman in business, I definitely, I'm concerned about my well-being. I'm concerned about, the well-being of the United States, all of us who live here and who are doing the right thing and paying our taxes and working hard to protect our families and grow our businesses, or just, if you don't own a business and you're working for a business, obviously, capitalism is important. That's something people have to respect, is that Mr. Trump has several phenomenal, incredible businesses that also are providing, tons and tons of hundreds or thousands of businesses, not only for, white workers, but also for Hispanics, for Muslims, for gays. He employs all kinds of people. I know that for a fact, and I know that they're, very appreciative, for the work that he has given to them as a good boss. Important to make that point. As a citizen here of the United States who, has worked so very hard, I'm afraid that might be taken away from us. I'm afraid, something that people don't emphasize enough in the Hispanic communities and the African American communities. They're emphasizing so much on, you're going to get deported, and they're not for, women's rights, and Trump doesn't respect women. That's a bunch of baloney. It's just a big lie, because something that is going to happen here in Las Vegas or anywhere else in the United States, if we have these open borders and ISIS is using these open borders to come through, they're paying off the coyotes, okay? They're people can be paid, and that's what's happening. If these poor Mexican immigrants that are coming over here illegally are saving up, for a lifetime to pay the coyotes off to come over.
That's like about 10 grand.
It's a piece of cake for ISIS, and Mr. Trump is right. They're coming through. They're already in Mexico. It's a fact. They're already infiltrating the youth. They're already infiltrating, a lot of the less educated, impoverished indigenous people. They're coming in through there, and they're also paying the coyotes to come over. It's a fact, and they're already here in the United States. We have homegrown terrorists already, it's like a mold, and they're growing. The water is coming down, and they're not getting stumped out quick enough. They're hiding, and they're here. And so I'm very concerned as a woman that my safety, my home, my business, we're all being affected. And there will be no more businesses, and there will be no more jobs, and there will be no more rights for anybody if ISIS comes over and starts attacking us the way they have in San Bernardino, what they did in Florida. gays, Hispanics, Muslims, nobody, the Muslims that I know a lot of Muslim people and that are pro-Trump, and they are completely against what's basically been happening with the Sharia law. These are the people that have been here for years, grandfathered in, for example, like Muslims even. Trump's no dum-dum. He's worked with Muslims, you know. These are moderate people that are here to do business and you know, but the radical Sharia law people that are trying to infiltrate, yeah, we need to be afraid and we need to be you know, accountable for what we're permitting if we vote for Hillary.
So basically you're saying that Hillary doesn't give a hoot about who she lets in.
No, it's you know, basically she's looking for popularity right now. She doesn't want, it's just the same thing with Obama. You know, he doesn't want to offend anybody, so they'd rather spend time with you know, this lady. I have it here on my notes. You know, he turned his back on Netanyahu January 22nd of 2004. You know, Netanyahu, who's our, you know, one of our most important allies and friends, you know, I would say definitely is a friend. And the Jews need to know that too and not vote for Obama. I don't know why anybody would, if you're Jewish especially, would ever vote for, you know, people who are just completely against you and completely selling out to, you know, the bad guys. But, Obama, back in January 22nd of 2004, had time to meet with Glozell Green, the lady with the green lipstick, and
was that the bathtub?
Oh yeah, here I've got it right here. This is just amazing to me. I can't believe, you know, this is. Take a peek, everybody.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, Obama, you know, had time to meet with this loser, you know, and turn our back.
One of our best friends in leadership role in the world. Yeah. He couldn't. The
same day. I mean, what a slap in the face! And then he's trying to be, you know, they're trying to say, oh, Trump's not presidential. That's not presidential. Yeah. Trump to me is the most presidential. He was presidential before, to me, you know, when I read his book back in 82, you know, the Art of the Deal. I mean, you could see the man was presidential back then.
So he's really thought about being president for a long, long time. In fact, he stated that he would not run for president unless America really needed it.
This is true. I mean, you know, it's but remember, I mean, what's happening now, you know, the man is under attack because he does represent, he's not perfect, he's not the perfect, you know, nobody's perfect, but the fact of the matter is whatever he did, you know, any verbiage that he might have, you know, slipped in the past. I mean, these women that are, I just have so much to say, but these women that are coming up against him now, all of a sudden, you know, when
but let me ask you, as a woman, would you wait 35 years to let the world know that somebody messed with you? I don't know any woman that I've ever dealt with that would wait that long.
Yeah, I mean, you know, good point. I mean, you know, Bill Clinton, you know, you had your accusers come out right away. I mean, they came out right away. They because it was, you know, it was really happening. It was a real-time situation. Monica Lewinsky, you know, that was all right there.
So in other words, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the election, they come up with all these women that's had all these beefs against him, and there's really no proof. And I like the fact that Donald said he's going to sue them, because that's a good thing.
He has to.
Yeah.
He has to. I mean, you know, I think that, you know, as a business owner, I am on board with that. I you know, in fact, I have something I'm probably going to get a lot of questioning here, but I actually am wondering why we have to support Obama right now with our American tax dollars. Nobody seems to be concerned about that. Our American tax dollars right now are going towards a campaign that that many of us are against. And can we sue as a class action suit? I'd like to ask Trump about that, because I'm all on board. I'd like to get that started. Let's sue Obama for using our American tax dollars right now to promote somebody that completely is opposite of what I stand for. That's our money.
Well, in fact, you know, the Las Vegas Tribune with Rolando Lares, he put that in his article about the cost for 1 hour flight is over $200,000.
Yeah, I saw that, and he's right on. He's right on.
And so it's disgusting for the taxpayer to be responsible for Hillary's campaign. So if I agree with you, if for any reason the taxpayers don't get reimbursed for all those expenses, then I think there should be a lawsuit.
I think we ought to have a class action lawsuit, and I personally would like to realistically see about that. I've already been Googling myself to see what kind of an attorney, because I am just, a common citizen. I don't know how to go about that. But to be honest right now, Obama, I'd love to, I'd love to take your ass to court on behalf of the American people. I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, but yeah, this is how we all feel that aren't for Hillary. You're taking our money, and you're traveling all over practically on a daily basis. And Donald Trump, who just opened up a hotel, gets questioned by the media of why he took out 2 hours of his time to support his children and to do a ribbon cutting at his own hotel, which is also generating more work and business for other people, okay? I don't get it. I mean, where is our voice?
Well, I think you're letting your voice be heard today, and that's a good thing, and you need to continue doing what you're doing, because I think you're doing a great job, so keep it up. We've got a couple of more issues here. One, we've talked about wasting lots of federal money on programs that seem that they don't work. Why don't we talk a little bit about some of that wasted taxpayer money, like, for instance, prisoners?
That's every time my husband and I drive back to California, we go back and forth often, and every time I go by that, prison in Jean, I always wonder, like, how many, a lot of times we only eat one meal a day because we're so busy with our business, and that's just the way it is. I'm sure here sometimes you're opening up a top ramen, because you're busy, you're active, and you're participating in the community to generate, for your business, your community, and your country. And these people are getting 3 square meals a day. They're getting, the visits, the special, visits that they can get married in jail. They have all, they can complain about the peanut butter if it's smooth or chunky or, nuts in the peanut butter. They get to complain about that. Health care, no problem. They get that taken care of as well. But yet I have, I have a really good friend that basically her house went into foreclosure, and she's a school teacher, and she couldn't afford, as a single mother and a school teacher in North Las Vegas, actually.
Wow.
And she's been voting Democrat, which I don't get that either. She's basically she's a Hispanic woman voting Democrat, expecting different results with the same vote. That's another issue as well. How can anybody expect change if you keep voting, because you're a Latino or African American or just, your parents were in the Union and you're supposed, if you're Anglo American, it's like these women that, they get beat up, they keep going out with the same type of a boyfriend and still having the same results. You need to switch it out, okay, if you want to have some change. You need to switch your vote out, start, thinking for yourselves. But bottom line, like going back really quick, and your question was? Wasted, yes.
Taxpayer money.
How much does it cost? I think I did a little research on myself, and I think the minimal of what it costs per just across the board per se is it costs about $200,000 minimum per prisoner. Okay, and I don't see that any kind of conversation is ever just across the board that really any politicians in general are talking about that. I know Donald Trump has brought this up too, and he's the only one that's talking about cleaning house. Let's get rid of we're not talking about execution here. Obviously, we're in a country that's very civilized, but we need to do something so that the people that are in prison sucking up on the system also that are not wanting to these gang members that are running business from jail basically. We need to put them to work.
Well, let me say this. I truly believe that Donald Trump's idea of having term limits will get a lot of these bad, stupid politicians out of office, because basically it's about preventive medicine, and it's about a process where monies are spent properly. Now, what has happened is that for 1 year per student, it costs under $12,000 to educate a student.
Right.
Okay, so you revert that to prisons to $200,000 per
That's
year.
it.
So you figure that if you put more resources early on, and you really took care of the education system in America, you'd have less people becoming criminals.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a simple game plan. It's so simple. But, it's like business as usual. It's all about business. Bottom line, you're a
businesswoman and you understand that. Well, we've talked a lot of issues here today. I think that
still more to cover, right?
we got a lot more. I think we probably got another 10 pages here, but since we can't touch them all today, we'd like to have you come back, and if you can, we'd like to hear more of what your
Did an hour go by already?
Pretty much.
I can't believe it. Wow.
Pretty much a good hour, and we just had a quick sample of what we're doing. We're here promoting Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
And we'd like to see Hillary Clinton get defeated.
She needs to be put in jail.
If you're a corporation in America, everything entertainment would be taken care of by Constanza, and I would appreciate your support of their business. And as you know, we promote business. We like to see business thrive because they create jobs. Now, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Just remember this, everybody, okay? Especially the people that believe in a higher being, or if you have be you Christian, Catholic, Baptist, just remember what's going on, especially if you guys are voting for the Democratic Party. You need to bring this thought to yourself. In the Bible, in Isaiah 5:20, okay? You can look this up yourself. I'm not making this up. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put the darkness for light and light as darkness. This is something to think about, okay? Because everything that is being applauded by Hillary, and people are just closing their eyes to all of the criminal activities, all of the babies that are being murdered and killed, basically, under the sabana. I'm saying it in Spanish, but under the blanket of that it's okay to abort at late term and everything. I mean, this is criminal, horrible activity. And there's also something else really quick that I want to mention that nobody seems to be mentioning. And I know if Donald Trump did this, he would be completely crucified. But I'm going to say this, Constanza Areizaga, what about the trail of dead people behind Hillary Clinton? That nobody's talking about that. Look it up, everybody. Look it up and see for yourselves. Everybody who speaks up against them, or is about to come out with some huge revelations, even book-wise, they've wound up dead under mysterious circumstances, very coincidental. It's just something to think about, okay? And it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, and I do thank you, and you'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you, Conservative Roundtable, and we appreciate this conversation, and we will talk to you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you so much. That's Pacific Standard Time.
God bless.
God bless.
And may Donald Trump win.
Yes.